So what if an entire nation could crowdfund its own future? That is the massive idea behind GiveBack to Algeria. It's a citizen-led blueprint designed to transform the country, literally from the ground up. This isn't just another project, it's a completely new way of thinking about nation building. And really, this whole thing is built on one core belief. This quote isn't just some nice words, it's the cultural engine driving the entire plan. The idea that the nation is worth any sacrifice is just so deeply woven into the Algerian identity. It's the emotional fuel for everything we're about to talk about. And to really get where that spirit comes from, we've got to take a step back in time. This whole initiative is designed to honor a legacy that was forged through decades and decades of struggle. Look, this wasn't a single event. We're talking about a struggle that spanned more than a century. It started with early resistance way back in the 1830s, moved to preserving the nation's very identity, and then through the absolute tragedy of the Sétif massacre, which really lit a fire under the independence movement. All of that led to the final war for independence. Every single step on this timeline reinforces that core idea. Generations paid a heavy, heavy price for the freedom that exists today. So that brings us to the big question, right? If that incredible collective spirit could win a nation's freedom, what could it build today? How do you take that same powerful energy and channel it into creating a modern, prosperous Algeria for everyone? Well, the proposed answer is Give Back to Algeria. It's a brand new call to action, one that's designed to take that historical spirit and apply it in a structured, modern way to solve today's challenges. And this slide really breaks down the massive shift in thinking. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things. Scatter donations where trust can be a real issue and the results are often patchy. But on the right, that's the new model, a structured system built for long-term reinvestment, total accountability, and development that actually reaches every single part of the nation. Okay, but for a plan this ambitious to even have a chance, it all comes down to one thing: trust. So let's dig into the nuts and bolts, because this whole model is designed from the ground up to earn that trust, and, just as importantly, to keep it. Now, the power behind this isn't coming from a few billionaires. No way. It comes from this number: 1.5 million Algerians, both at home and living abroad, all deciding to pitch in together. And that's the key, right? It has to be accessible. So the contribution is set at just 25 euros a month. For one person, that's a small amount. But when you multiply that by 1.5 million people, well, it becomes an unstoppable engine for change. So you take that small monthly amount, you multiply it by all those people, and what do you get? You get this: an absolutely mind-blowing goal of over 3.3 billion euros in just 7.5 years. That's the kind of money that can actually transform a country's infrastructure and create real lasting change. And this, right here, this might be the most important part of building that trust. Look at that chart. An incredible 98% of every single euro raised goes directly into funding the projects. Only 2% is set aside for admin and operations. That's a model built for maximum impact, to prove that every last contribution matters. The way it's set up is also super smart and designed for integrity. You've got this two-part system. First, there's the Guardian, a nonprofit that acts like a watchdog, protecting the public interest and setting the overall vision. Then you have the Builder, which is the company that actually gets the projects done. Separating them like this is crucial. It's designed to prevent conflicts of interest and guarantee accountability. And we're not just talking about pinky promises here. This stuff is baked right into the legal structure. There's a mission lock, which means no private profits, any surplus gets reinvested. The assets are legally protected for public benefit, forever. You've got mandatory independent audits every year and super strict rules for how money is spent. It's not based on goodwill, it's a fortress of accountability. Okay, so we've got the trust, we've got the framework, so what are we actually going to build with all this? Let's get into the exciting part, the vision for what this new Algeria could actually look like. The vision kicks off with something that affects every single person, every single day: the food you buy. The first major project is a chain of modern supermarkets, and believe me, it's about way more than just convenience. It's about fixing a core part of the economy. See, by creating its own chain of supermarkets, the project can cut out all those middlemen that jack up the prices. What does that mean? It means lower costs for families, fairer prices for local farmers, and a modern, efficient food supply for the whole country. Everyone wins. Next up,
It's not just about the economy. It's about a fundamental human need, a decent place to live. And the goal here isn't just to put up buildings, it's to strengthen the very fabric of Algerian communities.
And the approach here is really thoughtful. Some projects will provide affordable rental homes for key workers, people like teachers and nurses. Others will focus on restoring historic neighborhoods to preserve cultural heritage. And get this, they'll even include dedicated spaces for after-school clubs, investing directly in the next generation. The vision doesn't stop with just food and shelter. It goes deeper, into knowledge, into culture, into community. The goal is so simple but so powerful, a library in every single neighborhood. And we're not just talking about dusty old buildings full of books here. The idea is for these to be true community hubs, places that encourage reading, give everyone free access to knowledge and computers, and just create safe, welcoming spaces for people of all ages to connect and learn. So after hearing about this incredible, ambitious blueprint, the natural question is, okay, how can I help? The whole initiative is still in its preparation phase, but there are definitely some clear ways to get involved right now. Look, right now, the name of the game is building momentum. You can start by reading and sharing the book that lays out this whole plan. Talk about it with your friends, your family. If you've got professional skills, legal, finance, engineering, you can offer to help. Every single action helps build the foundation so that when this thing officially launches, that goal of 1.5 million people feels totally within reach. In the end, it all comes back to this one powerful sentence: honoring our legacy by building our future. This entire initiative is a bridge, connecting the sacrifices of the past to the massive potential of tomorrow. The blueprint is there. The only question left is, what can a nation really achieve when 1.5 million of its people decide to build that future together?